Good evening and welcome to Channel 2 News. This is Efrain Magana.
And this is Jasmine Rodriguez.
As of today, it has been a decade since the stock market crash, and things weren't looking well.
Families across America felt the impact of the crash. In today's special, we'd like to take you back through the years as a reminder of our moving forward. Thank you for tuning in, and now to take you back to our first interview of the beginning of the Great Depression with Camelia Moreno.
In today's special, stock market crash, and left people in panic. Many victims started saving money, but little did they know it wasn't going to be enough to help them during these dark times. People fled to take their money out of banks. Those banks failed due to not having enough money in stores, causing them much distress. Here I have with me Angelica Garza to speak more on the troubles. Thank you for meeting with me today. I just wanted to know how the stock market has affected you.
Well, at first my husband and I were afraid because we didn't know what was going on. We only have a radio in the house giving us the news of the crash, and we weren't sure what that meant. In just a couple days, the factory I worked at started laying off workers, and one of them happened to be me. There's 4 children I have to feed, and I just got word that I have another on the way. My husband works longer than I do, and I have to be home with the kids. Now that I don't have a job, I had to sell a lot of my personal belongings. There's no more jewelry, and a lot of our furniture was on credit, and we couldn't pay. Everything we owned was taken back. We only kept our mattresses and blankets. There's nothing else for me to sell, and I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to do.
Now heading back to the studio with you guys.
During the years of 1934 to 1937, there was a major drought throughout the Great Plains. The Great Plains area consisted of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, and New Mexico. The area of these states had a combination of little soil, little rainfall, and high winds. These circumstances were what caused the Dust Bowl. It was an ecological disaster brought on by the farmers and ranchers who exploited the land. Not only did it affect agricultural lands, but also cities. The soil on this land was not anchored down, so the high winds created dense clouds of dust. These clouds were called black blizzards, which wreaked havoc on families, animals, and farmlands. Black Sunday caused the worst of these storms to roll through the plains. There were 20 storms that occurred which caused the sky to turn black. The Dust Bowl drove out 60% of the population by the end of the disaster. Unemployment may have risen and people were tight on money, but it didn't stop them from enjoying life. Most people owned radios, which distracted them from their everyday struggles by listening to comedies, soap operas, and sporting events. Music like swing encouraged listeners to dance. Money was tight, but it didn't stop people from enjoying movies and musicals. In May of 1931, the Empire State Building opened in New York City. Standing at 1,250 feet, it is the tallest building in the world. Women significantly have progressed. Amelia Earhart flew over the Atlantic Ocean in May of 1932, the first woman to fly 15 hours alone over the Atlantic. The 21st Amendment was ratified in December of 1933, meaning the end of the Prohibition. African-American track athlete Jesse Owens won the first of 4 Olympic gold medals during the 1936 Olympic Games held in Berlin, Germany. May of 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge, the longest suspension bridge in the world, opens in San Francisco. There's no doubt the past decade wasn't great.
President Hoover didn't do much when it came to helping Americans get through the first year of the Depression. Massive unemployment and no money to spend caused a recession that turned into the Great Depression. 15 million Americans were still unemployed when elections came around, but to no surprise, Hoover wasn't re-elected in 1933. Americans elected Democrat candidate and New York Governor Franklin Delano Roosevelt as their new president. He pledged a New Deal for the American people. It would use the power of the federal government to stop the economy's downward spiral. By June of 1933, government under Roosevelt passed 15 new laws that reshaped many aspects of the American economy. This was the action of Roosevelt's first 100 days. This New Deal may have restored Americans' confidence, but it didn't end the Depression. In spring of 1935, Roosevelt launched the Second New Deal, which helped employ the still unemployed and build of public works in all communities. In 1936, he won by a landslide, and we hope this progress goes on to officially get out of the Depression. Thank you for joining us today from your local news channel 2
I am Jasmine Rodriguez.
and Efrain Magaña.
Please stay tuned for the 1940s.